Some of the scores are going to say the matrix is the right answer. Some of the scores are going to say counter-reach is the right answer. Some are going to think matrix 2 is the right answer.
And a lot of scores think Blade Runner is the right answer because it shows up so often as a sci-fi flick.
So you need someone at the end to listen to all these different votes and decide what's going to be the best answer.
This is where Watson's machine learning kicks in. Having studied thousands of other Jeopardy questions and their correct answers, Watson has learned what evidence is important and what's not.
What machine learning will start to do is learn how to weigh them differently and say, well, hey, questions like this, calling on a phone, not calling on a phone, not so important. This other stuff, do I have a sci-fi movie? Is the person named, the character in that movie? Very, very important for questions like this.
In this case, he successfully weighs the evidence and identifies sci-fi flicks from 1999, starring Keanu Reeves. So he picks the one answer matching all those elements, The Matrix. Watson's elaborate system doesn't always work, but without machine learning, he wouldn't stand a chance. Machine learning isn't just important for Watson, it's driving a revolution in computing. It plays a major role in computer models that predict the weather days in advance. And all those recommendations you get from Amazon or Netflix, no human is writing up rules about your likes and dislikes. Instead, computers are comparing your preferences to millions of other customers and finding patterns and learning about you. Today, machine learning is conquering many problems once thought too complex for computers, like speech recognition.
In the earlier days, people decided that they would try to program computers to recognize speech. Which word am I saying now?
Pick up the big block at the right side.
In the 60s, this voice-directed block world was the height of technology. Computers could be programmed to recognize the audio signals of specific words and phrases.
Pick up every small block.
But they had to be reprogrammed for every new speaker, because everyone's speech is slightly different.
Even though it's very easy for you and I to recognize the word ice cube, it's very difficult for us to write down the rules that would allow a computer to look at the microphone signal and see that it's ice cube.
But now, computers are trained with millions of examples of human speech.
Here's a microphone signal, and this is the word ice cube.
Ice cube.
Here's another one.
Ice cube.
You end up with much more successful speech recognition systems.
Today, speech recognition software, though not perfect, is remarkably accurate and getting better all the time.
All the ones we have today are based on machine learning simply because it works the best.
And some programs are taking it a step further.
Where do you come from?
Not only transcribing your speech,
Shanghai.
but translating it into a foreign language as well.
Shanghai.
It's very nice to meet you.
很高兴见到.
Every language has so much ambiguity, double meanings, and metaphors.
What are your specials today?
Accurate computer translation seemed impossible with the old rules-based approach.
今天的特色菜是牛肉炒饭。
Today's special is roast beef fried rice.
All of these interactions are so complex that you couldn't, in your lifetime, write all these rules. It's just too enormous, too daunting an effort.
My wife asked me to buy some crackers.
どんなクラッカーですか?
What kind of crackers?
Rice crackers.
Alex Wabel fed a computer millions of examples of English text, together with their translations into about a dozen different languages. Now he's got a program that can run on your phone or iPad.
Do you often go shopping here?
And translates on the go.
ここにはよく買い物に行きますか? 毎日来ます.
Machine learning has been so successful, mastering more and more tasks once only done well by humans.
The computer program translates between languages.
Some researchers believe it may be a crucial building block for making real artificial intelligence.
There are two ways of building intelligence. You either know how to write down the recipe, or you let it grow itself. And it's pretty clear that we don't know how to write down the recipe. Machine learning is all about giving it the capability to grow itself.
Some people find the idea of a machine that can learn threatening. But when Watson's having a bad day, it's hard to imagine him threatening anyone.
Daily double? Yeah. So we were way ahead. We were almost locking out.
Other daily double.
We get the daily double. There's like 2 or 3 clues left. And so what do? We bet big so we can lock them out.
I'll wager $5,200.
The team is nervous. They know Watson will never make the cut on Jeopardy unless he can stop making dumb mistakes.
Here's your clue.
It was about letters, and it was a woman wrote to this 40s artist.
In the late 40s, a mother wrote to this artist that his picture, number 9, looked like some of her son's finger painting.
We answered with Rembrandt.
Who is Rembrandt?
Oh, very good. Really?
Although Watson recognizes most dates, he doesn't know that the 40s refer to the 1940s.
And Michael was a 40s artist. We answered with Rembrandt. There's a time problem.
We all know that it was Jackson Pollock.
Watson loses that game.
We got the double wrong and found it.
And his opponents show him no mercy.
Both beat him.
Good for you!
Humans. Woo!
Sometimes the reason something is the right answer is very obvious to a human. Like, for example, it may be asking for a she or a he.
This first lady was born Thelma Catherine Ryan on March 16, 1912 in Nevada. Watson?
Who is Richard Nixon?
Oh, here you go. Right?
Patricia?
Who is Pat Nixon?
That is correct. Richard Nixon was never a first lady.
I want to understand what it was.
Our new gender stuff is not in this system. It's not in this system.
To my knowledge.
People take offense at being called the wrong gender. Watson doesn't care about stuff like that. It's making statistical judgments based on how different pieces of evidence have gone together in questions and answers that we've given it.
The 2 famous comedians' noses that made impressions.
What is Jimmy Durante?
More specific?
Sorry, all I know is what is Jimmy Durante.
Saying it slower doesn't make it right.
Now, you hear how Todd Crane makes fun of the computer? And I had my kids. I had them sign the confidentiality agreement and come in and see a couple of these games. And their comment was, "Why does the host make fun of Watson, Daddy?"
This "What Are You Doing" website's name also refers to a type of nervous laugh. Watson?
What is evil laugh?
Oh, no.
In terms of comedy duos, he is the best straight man in the business.
You're going to kick yourself. Twitter.
Because he doesn't get it. He doesn't get why his inappropriate answer is funny. And you can't ask for better writing than that.
And once in a while, okay, we could all take a joke, but over and over again. And Watson's defenseless, right? So he's making fun of and criticizing a defenseless computer that represents people with real feelings, real families. Or maybe if I don't have any feelings, my kids have feelings.
And feelings are intensified by the fact there's just 1 more month before the Jeopardy producers will return to make a decision.
Watson, you have control.
The pressure is on to boost Watson's strengths and eliminate his weaknesses. His strengths are obvious. He dominates when it comes to purely factual questions.
Watson usually does very well at these factoid questions, looking up facts, history, geography, entertainment.
Clark Gable was happy to see him come in and finish directing Gone with the Wind. Watson?
Who is Victor Fleming?
That is correct. Watson, you choose again.
For 1600, please.
His westerns include Wagon Master and Fort Apache. Watson.
Who is John Ford?
Good for 1600.
Who is Mike Nichols?
Good for 12. Last clue on the board for $800. Here it is. Revenge of, in 1978, was the 5th in this series of comedies directed by Blake Edwards. Watson?
What is the Pink Panther?
I just want to check. Your buzzers are working. Just wanted to check in and wake you from your nap.
Watson has made it into the cloud, but nowhere near championship level. Ferrucci must come up with a plan to somehow step up his performance before the Jeopardy producers return. The team has spent almost 4 years, enormous intellectual and emotional energy, and tens of millions of dollars on developing Watson. But all this effort isn't just for a machine that can play Jeopardy. IBM has much bigger goals.
I'm already looking sort of beyond Jeopardy.
I'm thinking, where can we go from here?
Ferrucci imagines a day when Watson might perform much like the computer in Star Trek.
The captain just starts talking to the computer, and they say, computer.
Computer. Ready. Could a storm of such magnitude cause a power surge in the transporter circuits?
It's an information-seeking tool that's capable of understanding your question,
creating a momentary interdimensional contact with a parallel universe.
And dialoguing with you to make sure that you get what you want.
Affirmative.
Do you have one of those? I don't have one of those, right?
You don't need to be a Starship commander to find this helpful. In a world overflowing with data, intelligent expert systems that can answer vital questions have been the holy grail. Now, we could be close to a Watson MD.
Think of it this way. There's a bunch of information, new diagnosis, new treatment options, new discoveries. Can anybody keep that all in their head all at once?
A machine that could access and organize all that information could help doctors analyze symptoms and wade through piles of medical journals.
It changes the paradigm in which we work with computers. That's the vision.
How am I doing? I hope we will have a good game today, but first I have to test my voice to make sure...
Before that vision can be fulfilled, before Watson can even compete on Jeopardy, the team needs to get more bugs out of his system. One of Watson's most embarrassing weaknesses is he cannot hear. Instead, Watson receives each Jeopardy clue as an electronic text message at the same moment his competitors see it on the board. As a result, he doesn't know the other contestants' answers.
Only the female of this equine pest of the family Tabinidae feeds on blood. The male feeds on nectar. Bill?
What's a mosquito?
No. Watson?
What is mosquito?
No. Harvey?
What's a horsefly?
Yes, thank you for not saying mosquito. Good job. Good for $2,000, Harvey.
Ferrucci and the team have been working furiously to boost Watson's performance. As part of their plan, Watson will now receive correct answers electronically after they're revealed. If the fix works, it will be in the nick of time. The Jeopardy producers are back, and they're about to determine Watson's fate.
You know, this was a measure of our progress, and we wanted to hear, yeah, you're there, you've made it.
The new and improved Watson gets his first big test with a category called Celebrations of the Month.
Administrative Professionals Day and National CPA's Goof-Off Day. Watson?
What is holiday?
No, that's not even close, really.
Watson fails because he doesn't get that in this category the answer must be the name of a month, something his human competition quickly figures out.
Arthur? What is April? What is April? April 18th is National.
I don't understand why we don't understand the question. I don't understand why. We don't understand the category.
D-Day anniversary and Magna Carta Day.
But now he electronically receives these correct responses.
Arthur, what is June? Good for 200.
Can he learn from the answers?
What Watson does here is it sees that, well, all the answers I've seen have been the month in which this thing in the clue occurs.
Matt, what is November? Good for 4.
So then it knows in the next clue to look for what month does this thing occur in.
Celebrations for 6. Celebrations for 6. National Teacher Day and Kentucky Derby Day. Watson.
What is May?
Yes, we got it.
Very nicely done, Watson.
See, you figured it out. It took us 4.
Thanks to the team's efforts, Watson is soaring higher in the cloud and now approaching the level of champions like Ken Jennings. Watson is on a roll.
Choose again.
You're tripping. For 1,600.
Jacques Cartier found this largest island of the Hochelaga archipelago while searching for gold. Watson.
What is Montreal?
Yes.
Who is Zebulon Pike?
Good.
What is Providence? Aquarius, Texas. Flo Rommel.
Watson?
What is Chow?
That was right and cute all at the same time.
The Jeopardy executives have seen enough.
I think we've gone from impressed to blown away.
Very nicely done, Watson.
Finally, Watson will get his chance on Jeopardy. A computer playing against human champions.
They say it can think.
In a game that is a very symbol of intelligence.
But can it think like a Jeopardy champion?
It will be a contest the world has never seen.
Good luck, Watson.